On this week's Vero Beach Social Media Pop-Up Podcast, we have Sarah Luhu, content creator, Instagram influencer, and all-around beautiful person. We shot this live on location at Taco Dive in Vero Beach, Florida. We talk about social media, how to become an influencer, and all the spooky details about Halloween. Give it a listen. You're going to love it. I guarantee it. Here we go. All right, everybody, welcome to another Vero Beach Social Media Pop-Up Podcast. We're here at Taco Dive with Sarah Bryant, a.k.a. Sarah Luhu. How are you today?
I'm good, and we're at my favorite place in Vero Beach. Shout out to Taco Dive.
So it's funny. First of all, Sarah and I are actually technically neighbors.
Very technically.
Like
right beside each other.
The two numbers different in the address. Very, very technically. And I said, hey, I'd like to have you on a podcast. She said, sure. I said, where do you want to do it? And I said, do you want to do it at Boho? And you were like, no, I want to do it at Taco Dive. I was like, all right, cool. We'll get a trio, a little guacamole.
The two places I am the most when I'm here.
Well, what's funny, they're right next to each other, too.
Which is also probably why I'm constantly here, because I just pop in, pop back to the salon. I'm pretty sure both places think I work at the other one at this point. Mm-hmm. I should probably be getting paid by both.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, I think I see an opportunity here. So anyway, if you don't know who Sarah Luhu is, Instagram influencer, social media influencer, how do I phrase that? Is there a proper...
Yeah, I mean, influencer, content creator.
Content creator. I want to get into that a little bit, actually.
All right.
Content creating. It's funny, we're setting up for the filming of this. And Sarah walks in, and you're like, well, I could have brought some softboxes, I could have brought this, could have brought that. It's like, all right, you ain't got to show us up now. All right.
That's what I do.
So tell us a little bit about, well, first of all, give us some background on you, who you are, all that fun stuff.
All right. So, I live in Vero Beach now, right?
Well, that's another thing I want to talk about, all the places that you live.
Yes,
all right.
All the many places I live. I started my, Instagram channel normally. I had it for years and years and years. Like, I was one of the first people on Facebook, by the way. I like to toot that horn, because it was when Facebook was only allowed for college students.
That's right. You had to have a college email address, right? Yep.
So I had my Facebook profile, and then when Instagram came out, I hopped on. I over-filtered everything like we all did back then. And it was just a normal account, and then almost 7 years ago now, I cut my hair off just to cut it. I just wanted something different.
I've done that.
Yeah, several times. And the picture of it went viral. I don't know if it was the hashtags. That was also a time on Instagram when it was a lot easier to go viral.
Sure.
And so many people asked me just how I styled my hair and what I did, and I was answering the same DM. Like, I literally had a note pasted in my notes on my phone that I would just copy and send, because I was getting the same exact question. So finally I said, you know what, I'm just going to make a video and post it so that I don't get the question, and I'm saving everyone time.
Makes sense.
Posted the video, that went viral. So then the questions changed to... I've had short hair for a long time. It's boring. I want to spice it up. What else can I do with it? And so I kind of took that as a challenge. Not really. I never thought I was influencing at this point, right? I was just answering questions and trying to make it easier for people. So I started doing weekly a different hairstyle for short hair for a year and a half, 2 years, every single week.
Right? The old Gary V style,
exactly,
right?
Gary V style. It was Tutorial Tuesday, #Tutorials Tuesday, and I did a different style, and they just kept going viral. And that was back in the day when, if you got reposted by a big account, it was a big deal.
It went nuts,
It went crazy. I remember one time I was literally at the gym. Shout out to my best friend who makes me work out every once in a while. And, I'm sitting there warming up on the treadmill, and I'm just watching my follower count, grow, by the thousands within, the 10 minutes I'm warming up. It was insane back then. So yeah, it grew really quickly. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just doing something that kind of came natural to me. And then after probably 6 months, I went to New York, and I met with an influencer agency there. And I basically just asked them, could this be a business? What's the story behind this? I know of YouTubers, but I don't know about Instagram influencers. And that's when the CEO was just yes, it is a big business. And that's when everything kind of shifted for me, and I took my telecom company kind of took a backseat to it, and I allocated more of my time into social.
So you didn't have any intentions. It wasn't like you went on Instagram to create an influencer account. It just happened.
Yes.
Okay. It's funny. We have a client that owns a business in town. I won't give him away, but he always wants to go viral. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, first of all, you're in Vero Beach. You service Vero Beach. What do you need to go viral for? And second of all, it's not... Maybe there is a formula to it. Maybe that's a question for you. Do you think that there's a formula to going viral?
I think there is a formula to going viral. However, I think it changes probably every 20 seconds.
Gotcha.
So it's almost like an encrypted algorithm that's constantly, I hate to use the word algorithm when we're talking about Instagram, but
Yeah, I hear you.
it's like changing so constantly with time that the people who go viral nowadays hit a sweet spot and they just
Right.
get lucky.
Right, and that's kind of what I try to explain to him is I'm like, imagine you and the, I don't know, 2.2 billion people that are on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and out of those 2.2 billion people, how many people want to go viral? So you're competing against them.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably not going to happen. You just, like you said, it has to be a sweet spot.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're filming this on October 7th. I think this comes out October 29th. So we have a few weeks. But
Right before Halloween.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, we're going to go to Halloween. We are going to get there. But Facebook went down, or all of Facebook's products went
Yes.
down 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
How did that affect you as an influencer?
Luckily, I didn't have any sponsored posts planned for that day.
That was my question.
Or else I would have just reached out to them. I mean, I think everyone in this space, we all know, like, you can't really pressure anyone because we're all in like the dark when
Sure.
something like that happens because they're not the best at communicating things that are happening behind the scenes. And that's with me going to Instagram offices and actually having meetings with people and trying to ask them, like, and pull it out of them, like, okay, what is this? Is there such a thing as shadow banning? Is this? And like, you never really get direct answers
Right,
from them.
right.
But so in case anyone was wondering, we do not get to see behind the curtain ever.
Well, we have a Facebook rep, and I had 4 or 5 calls, and it was like, can you call your rep? Well, first of all, you can't call a rep. I want everybody to understand that. You
Nope.
cannot call a Facebook rep. You can only email them. And second of all, my rep probably has 700 agencies that he's the representative for. So not only am I emailing him, but 699 or however many others are.
Yes.
Like, and he doesn't know. So no, I can't really do anything.
Yeah, it's definitely very, like, to me, like Emerald City-esque. You
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yep.
because you
Yep.
know it's beautiful and glamorous, but you don't know how it works and you're not quite sure who's behind the curtain. That's how it is.
And
Definitely
it's set up
Instagram.
that way.
And it is totally set up that way. So when it went down, I was just kind of like, I kept trying to refresh the feed because how awful it is that it's such a habit for me to just, I grab my phone and it's like my thumb just goes there like a
Yep.
magnet to
Yep.
try to open it. But it was kind of nice to have a break, right? The pressure was off for me. I got like, it was like a snow day, kind of.
That's a very good way to put it. So
Hurricane day.
I golfed in a nonprofit golf tournament that morning, and I said, all right, when the tournament ends about noon or 1, I'll go in the office, I'll get some work done. Well, that's right when Facebook went down. I'm like, all right, well, I won't be, because when Facebook goes down again, all their products went down, so including Ads Manager, which is the big one for me. So anyhow, yeah, there wasn't really much I could do. So
Yeah.
I just sat around, like you said, like a snow day, and hung out, and
Kept refreshing, see if it came back up. Nope,
refreshed
still down. All
often.
right.
Yeah, answered a bunch of phone calls, answered a bunch of emails, but didn't do much on Facebook. So one thing I wanted to add, okay, Halloween.
Halloween.
It's coming up.
It's coming up.
All right, this releases Friday the 29th, Halloween Sunday the 31st. You have something pretty cool that you do around Halloween. Well, in October.
Yeah.
All right. You make yourself look like other people, other characters. Talk to me about who you try to look like when you do these makeup tips, and then who you're going to be this year.
I can't tell you who I'm gonna. I can tell you who I've already posted.
Well,
and I'll.
well,
yeah, it
this
will be
airs on the
posted.
29th,
Okay.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I won't tell anybody, I promise.
So far, I've already posted Poison Ivy
Okay.
from Batman and Robin.
All right.
I've posted Wednesday Addams, but Wednesday Addams all grown up. It was like a spin on her
I
with
saw
like
that. It
face
was
tattoos.
cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was, I swear to God, I thought that was a filter.
No.
The tattoo under her eye. I was like, yo, that's like one of those Snapchat filters or Instagram filters that you put on there. But
Shout
no,
out to
that's-
One Size Liquid Liner. It is bomb if you need some precision.
Okay.
So I was Wednesday. It hasn't posted yet, but I've already finished it. Daphne from Scooby Doo.
Okay.
It hasn't. Well, it will be posted.
Yeah.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
All right. All right, keep going. I got another question for you. I keep cutting you off because these
For
keep popping in my
some
mind.
reason, I just I feel like the men transformations are so much better. So I have
That
Ace
was going to be my
Ventura.
question. Men. But
Yeah.
keep going.
Ace Ventura. It's also the short hair, right? I mean, I have to put a wig on if I'm gonna transition to most of like the characters I do. I have so many wigs too. Like I'm pretty sure, like, anytime I have, like, something clean, like my apartment in Brooklyn when I was there, and I'd have it clean, I'm like, oh my gosh, my cleaning ladies probably think I'm, like, so crazy, because I have so many wigs. But anyways, Ace Ventura, we have Ursula coming up, we have...
From Little Mermaid.
From Little Mermaid,
Right.
yep. We have Scream, like the Scream mask, but without the mask,
But
all
not a
makeup.
mask.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We have, I don't know, I still have to do this one. It depends on how it comes out, because I do a lot more than I post.
Sure,
So some of them
sure.
don't make the cut.
Right. Well, we were talking about that. If you have an off day, it's
Exactly.
all right,
Then
I'll
it's
do
like,
that
no,
one.
not
Yeah.
posting it. We'll see if Buzz Lightyear makes the cut.
Yo. Then you got to do Woody.
Maybe Woody will be for next year. We'll see. We'll
All
see.
right. I like the Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, Jem from Jem and the Holograms.
I don't know what that is.
So Jem and the Holograms was like a cartoon back when we were young.
Okay.
It was like around the Thundercat era.
Yeah.
And they've done remakes of it for like now's generation, but they've like missed the mark. It was a cartoon, and now they've all done live action.
Gotcha.
But she's like this punk rock band, and she's the lead singer. She has pink hair. She's fabulous. Fabulous 80s, yeah.
I'll see it
Exactly.
now because
You
it's
will
out
see.
now, I guess.
Yes.
All right.
Jem, and then there's one more that we'll also see if this one makes the cut. Captain Planet.
Oh, he's a hero.
He's a hero.
Gonna take pollution.
With our powers combined.
That's right. Oh man, that one will be awesome. Didn't he have green hair?
He sure does.
Green hair and like a pale white face, wasn't
No,
it?
blue. It's like a
face. It was a
baby blue.
That's right. Yep. That'll be really cool. You've done that one already.
I haven't done it
Oh,
yet.
you haven't done it.
So we'll
All right.
see. Buzz Lightyear and Captain Planet, we'll see if they make the cut. And then I have like 2 more ideas that I'm not sure how they're going to play out. Sometimes I start and the idea I have morphs into something else, because as I'm creating it, it reminds me of something else, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to take this and spin it this way. And those are always the best. Even Wednesday, when I did Wednesday, it was without face tats.
Oh,
And then-
you're like, oh, how cool would it be?
And then I was like, I bet Wednesday would have face tats if she was grown up. And I used the filter at first
Right.
to like show one of my friends on my stories to my close friends. And I was like, yo, she looks sick with tattoos. So that's when I went back in and added the tattoos.
How often do you post these?
So for the month of October, I try to start October 1st,
Right.
kick off. And then I usually do one, I try for like every other day.
Okay.
This is actually a busy business month.
Right.
Typically I like block out my October so it can be all Halloween looks, but this month we had some money coming in, so I'm not going to say no to it.
I hear you.
And therefore there'll probably be a little bit less, like 10 or 12.
So all that stuff's for fun,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Like, and that's probably how you, like we talked about, that's kind of how you became the influencer. How, as an influencer, how do you wrap that into a business? Like you said, you went and talked to an agency, and they were like, yes, this is definitely a way to make money.
Yep.
So obviously, you don't have to get into specifics about how much and all that stuff, but how does that work? Do you have an agent that goes out, or do you have people that call your agent, or how's that work?
So I have a manager.
Okay.
I got her actually shortly after I had that meeting. The CEO of that influencer agency, he's the influencer, the CEO of 4, by the way, 4.co.
Okay.
But he introduced me to my manager because she had just gone out on her own, and we just totally clicked. I've been with her now for almost 3.5 years, probably 4 years actually.
Wow.
She's incredible, but a lot of our work just comes in, right? Because if you're doing your job right as an influencer, you're getting seen, and then once you're getting seen, that's coming back to you. And
Right.
it's interesting because like sometimes, like for instance, I'm starting a new house, right? I'm moving in a
Right.
new house, I'm refurnishing it, and I would love to get some partnerships in the lifestyle and like home space. So what a lot of influencers don't do anymore, in my opinion, is work for free.
Okay.
Right? Everyone wants to get paid, which absolutely, right?
They
We
feel
all
like, I made the cut, I'm getting paid.
correct. And they don't have maybe the business sense to know that you need to sacrifice in some areas in order to get the clout behind that partnership
Sure.
to be able to work with someone for free. So like,
Right.
hey, I know Gary Vee used to talk about this all the time, at least about doing stuff for free, like, because then you can say, hey, I did this work for so-and-so, you add it to your own portfolio, and then the deals come in, then the partnerships come
Almost every industry is like that, by the way, especially ours. I mean, it's the very first campaign we ever ran was for a guy that made an all-natural weed killer. We ran it for free as proof of concept to say, hey, this is what we can do. And then we advertised that we were running that to other businesses, and then we started getting it. So
Yep.
I completely get that. I mean, but you're right. People get greedy. I mean, that's really what it is. It's like, oh, well, I got paid. I should keep getting paid. And sometimes, you know, if you're trying to switch or do some things in some other areas.
And it's hard to switch when you're in this field, right? When you're known as the influencer that does that,
right.
It's really hard to migrate that audience and still get the same reactions that you're used to in a different field. So it is kind of touchy.
But having the experience of being an influencer in one field certainly has to help you as you're pivoting. I hate the word pivot.
100%.
You hate algorithm. I hate
100%. But it's just, you know, it does get in your head because, like, if you post something and you're used to it getting a certain amount, a certain number, a certain amount of engagement, and then you post something that's totally off topic and everyone's just kind of like, wait, what? It's kind of crickets and it hurts your ego a little bit. You know, you have to put it to the side. But it is, you can break down what you see other people doing much easier, right? Because in the beginning, I remember thinking, like, how do they do that? What lighting do they have? What's that? But once you get enough experience, I can watch someone make a video. And when I watch videos on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, I'm looking at the content, yes, but I'm saying, like, oh, wow, that was only on for 0.5 seconds. Like, oh, okay, I like how she did the close-up there and then zoomed out for that other shot. Because that's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it as someone who's creating it to know, like, this would be sick to recreate in my own way.
It's funny, when we started this marketing company, I started looking at advertising like that. Before, I just watched ads like everybody else. And now, and the podcast that's coming out before this on the 22nd is with Barry Shapiro, who used to be a video producer. And he was talking about that. He said he and his wife was in the industry. They saw a Publix ad, and they're like, "Wow, that was a great ad. This music and this and that." And they told the story, and it's just kind of funny how when you're in the industry, you watch things differently.
It's totally different. I was gonna say something else too to add. When I watch National Geographic now, and they have the slow, like the macro shots.
Oh yeah.
That are overnight. All I can think is, how does that lens not have humidity on it? How is it that clear?
Heat.
Like,
they keep heat on the lens.
I'm guessing, but like, okay, like a leaf. How is a leaf not on the lens? I'm sure it happens all the time.
Yeah, it probably does. I mean, actually, Andy and I talked about a shot that they did, and I don't have a mic set up for him because we couldn't clamp it, so you can't hear him. But we were talking about it was a moon set, I believe, or it could have been a sunset now. And it was a guy doing a tightrope walk across two like mountain peaks, and they had to do it exactly right at this exact day on this exact night, and it took them like a long time to get this right, and it was just wild. But it goes to show you, like, the lengths that people will take. Like, you're watching an ad that's 30 seconds, but that could have taken 5 years to shoot, you know.
I was just editing one of my Halloween reels the other day, and I was getting ready to head somewhere with my best friend, and I was like, just give me like 20 minutes. I need to edit this video down to 60 seconds. And she's like, how long is that? I'm like, 37 minutes.
Oh my God.
But that's movie magic, right?
Yeah.
Thank God for movie magic, or else I'd need a lot more hard drive space.
So you brought something up that I want to talk about. The way that social media changes all the time. How much time do you spend learning about those changes? For instance, Instagram Reels. Like, Facebook Reels just came out very recently. So Instagram, that's your primary platform. I wrote it down. 337 followers. 337,000 followers. That is absolutely insane, by the way. But when something like Reels comes out, number one, do you get a heads up? Number two, if you get a heads up, do they tell you how it's going to work? And number three, how does it affect what you're not used to doing?
We get nothing.
Right.
Usually. So when Facebook came out with videos over 60 seconds, I was part of a beta testing platform for creators specifically, because Facebook was competing with YouTube, right? Facebook wanted to push longer form video content, so they had this initiative where we were essentially on the Facebook payroll for 6 months to create as many videos organically as we possibly could and just post them to the platform, so that Instagram and Facebook could essentially say they had this much long form content.
Sure.
So in those aspects, we get a little bit of a heads up, but for the most part, it's all about, like, I follow the creator account on Instagram, like Instagram's quote unquote @creator, just because that's where I normally find out how to use things.
We get a lot of stuff from Facebook for developers, and we do get a heads up on some things, but, well, that's not true. We get a heads up on things right when they happen. So, for instance, I got an email on September 29th when Facebook started with Reels, but they had started. And I read the email, and I went and I checked. I'm like, there are Reels there.
Yep.
Okay. So it's not really a heads up, but I think you do get, like, you get the information before the general public really knows about it.
Yeah. But like you said, if my mom logged onto Facebook, she'd see the reels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then
so
she'd
you
call
don't.
you like, "Hey, what's going on?" And you're like,
She would be like, "Why don't you have any reels up?"
Right.
That's what she would be saying.
Because it takes me 5 hours to
My
shoot.
momager, who thinks she's Kris Jenner.
Momager, I love that. Miss Thing. What's her handle? Miss Thing?
111.
111. Okay, what was Miss Thing?
Don't forget the A on thing. So yeah, she's a trip.
Yeah, I think you and I talked about this. She could become an influencer very easily.
We talk about people being able to go viral. She has like that trait. Totally. I built her a blog probably 5-6 years ago because I'm like, she's hilarious. She's very entertaining to watch, to listen to. And I even bought her the domain name LilaSaysSo.com.
It's perfect.
How perfect would it be
Lila
for her?
Says So.
But she, didn't do it. And even now, like on my podcast, when I had it going, the most popular episode was the one where I had her on.
I might have to have your mom on.
You should.
Uh-huh.
She is hilarious.
She comes over, like, again, we mentioned this before, that we're neighbors, and your mom lives in our neighborhood, and I think your dad had gone to help you move or something, and so she was taking care of your sprinklers or something, and she was like, "Curtis, can you watch if it rains? Can you see if the sprinklers come on? Because we have a sensor, but I don't think it's working." Like, all right.
She's really good at delegating. That's her superpower.
Right. Well, she's very specific. I'm like, I would just leave the sprinklers on. Like, I would not worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you get home, you'll figure it out.
Yes.
But no, she was not having it. She wanted to know if that sensor was working. Anyhow, all right. So another thing I wanted to ask while we're here is, again, I mentioned Instagram. That's your thing, Instagram. But you are on other platforms. What do you recommend for people that are influencers or want to be influencers? Do you recommend that they kind of take that shotgun approach and throw everything out there, or do you think they should focus on one thing and build one platform?
I would take the shotgun approach. If you're doing it, number one, I would say if you are getting into this business to be an influencer, you cannot fake it till you make it. That is not the industry that this is. There's some industries where you can do that. But if you are not genuinely a people person and you do not like answering 50 messages a day of the same question, if that's going to annoy you, this is not the industry for you. However, if you are a people person, you just love chatting to people, talking to people, that's just who you are, I would diversify everything because you never know what kind of content you're creating is going to stick to what. You know what I mean? Like, so you're just taking what is that, toilet paper ball and just throwing it.
Throwing mud at the wall and
mud at the wall. Mud
paper,
sounds better than toilet paper.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A clay-like substance.
Yeah,
Yes.
I got you. So it's funny because TikTok has been unbelievable. I think their algorithm, I know you hate the word, but I think their algorithm is the best of all the platforms, because when you watch something that is on one subject, now on your For You page, I mean, you're just getting all sorts of stuff on that subject. Oddly enough, not that I want to be viral or I even want to take my clients and make them viral. I'm just trying to get them in front of the audience that they need to be in front of.
Right.
But I watch these videos where these TikTok people, these TikTok profiles are very popular. They are influencers, and they teach you what they've done. It's tremendous. It's really cool. But the most important thing is they say find a niche and be consistent.
Yep.
And just keep on going.
For instance, like if I had been posting on my Instagram for years, right? It wasn't until I had the short hair niche.
Right.
That is when everything started happening. And even today, I do a ton of skincare, makeup, Halloween looks, but nothing performs the way my short hair things do.
So why do you think that is?
Because I gained 300,000 followers in 6 months, right? And that was from cutting my hair.
Right.
So majority of my following follows me because they're looking for inspiration. I just posted a picture yesterday of my before hair, and everyone is begging me, like, please post the after by Thursday at noon because I have an appointment, and they just want new inspo because it is like, it's hard to find as a woman who wants a feminine short haircut. It's tough. There's not a lot of like people who you can be like, oh, I'm just gonna Google this person, and like they have a ton of like inspo pics. And I like to think I'm that person.
Well, Stacy, my wife, got a haircut pretty short, and that you were probably influential in that too, because I think she was really afraid. You know, she's got longer hair. I think she was afraid to do it, and then eventually she just did it, and she was beautiful with it. I loved it, and now it's growing back out. But it's funny how people won't do something. I call it paralysis by analysis. They're so worried about this and this and this. They see somebody do it, they get inspiration, they do it, and it's great. And it's almost like they just need
the push, the little baby push. Exactly. I mean, I debated for years before I did mine, and then I ended up traveling overseas, and I saw this woman in this like square in Italy that just had the most insane perfect hair, and I was like, yep, I'm doing that when I get back. And I just walked into the salon. My stylist Michelle didn't even know I was doing it. I just walked in, I'm like, hey, we're cutting my hair off today.
And she was like, what?
Yes.
So you've been with the same stylist forever.
Yes.
This isn't like a new thing, like, oh, now that I'm big time and a big deal, I get a new stylist. No, it's the same.
No. And people offer me, I mean, I have gotten my hair cut. I'm very close with the hair industry in general, with the pro industry. So, like, I have a lot of friends who are hairstylists, but, like, everyone kind of knows that, like, I don't really let anyone else cut my hair but Michelle. Color, like, I've gone to people in Brooklyn when I was living there for a while that Michelle referred me to that are awesome. But, I don't know. I mean, because she's not just my hairstylist, she's my friend, right? So
right. And you've known her for a long time. And yeah. Michelle, by the way, at Boho Salon. Again,
yes, right
next
across,
door.
Right next door from Taco Dive. Go get your hair done, get your tacos, get your queso. It's a good day.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it. What else do I have on here? Reels, Halloween, content. Okay, so let's talk about content creation. How did you learn to do video production, to do proper lighting, to do, all the stuff that you do to be able to be an influencer?
Yeah. So I dabbled in photography, not videography, but photography for a long time. But I had taught myself graphic design. So when I was in like my software job right after I graduated college, I taught myself the Adobe Suite. I had a background in photography editing, and so it was just a matter of getting online and watching 400 YouTube videos to figure out how I use Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere. And it's just time. Like, you can teach yourself how to do anything with the internet. It's actually pretty mind-blowing. I've watched so many tutorials from other makeup bloggers specifically, because makeup has a different type of lighting, right? Because you want to show texture of something specifically, but at the same time, you don't want it to look like bad texture.
Right, you don't want it to look like plastic.
Exactly, so it's a sweet spot that the lighting and everything is very specific. And I've swapped out everything. Like, I started with like $30 box lights that I got on Amazon, and you upgrade every so often. You make enough money that you're like, I'm getting new equipment.
Well, I'm going to invest in this. I'm going to make it look better. I'm going to be a professional at this.
I used to have a pop-up like fabric backdrop that I would like have to open up, and it'd like hit me in my like chin every time, and it was just massive. And now I have like the legit backdrop system for when I just want to swap things out.
It's funny, you were talking about how you can teach yourself to do anything. You had an Instagram story the other day of you with a bunch of saws, and I'm texting you. I'm like, what the hell are you doing with all these saws? Like, what are you?
I did it.
Hold on.
I built a chicken coop, but a quail coop.
A quail coop.
So I've been wanting, like, I don't know, I have this like huge drive right now to create with my hands. So I've been taking metalworking classes. I took a ceramics class, and I've been really wanting to just learn how to build things. Like, I genuinely believe if I can build something, if I know how to use a saw, I'm like unstoppable at this point.
Well, the saw cuts. You need something to put together.
Yeah, but I know how to like nail and like drill things. I actually stole your hammer drill, so
that's right.
Yeah, we're good. Yep.
What else do I have here? Facebook shut down. Agent. Do you recommend one side or all? That's what I got. Those are the answers I wanted. I don't know if there's. Oh, you know what I did? I wanted to give a shout out. Nature Boy Adrian.
Nature Boy Adrian.
Yo, that handle. It is at Nature Boy Adrian, right?
Yep.
Instagram handle. If you're listening to this or watching, you have to go follow this kid. This is your nephew. We call him your nephew. He's the coolest kid ever. He is the he's so interested in everything. I've never seen a kid as fearless as him.
He's like a baby Steve Irwin. He's like, like a young kid Steve Irwin. His mom, who's my best friend, has always loved catching wild animals. Like, and not like fluffy wild animals. I mean like dangerous snakes. Like, she grew up in South Florida. So like, if you're grabbing a snake, you don't know what it is, that's dangerous. And now she knows what she's doing more so, and she's passed that on to him. And he's just like, I remember when he was probably like 4, he would come to my house and he's like, can I go outside and catch the lizards? And I'm like, sure, just go outside. And he just catches lizards, snakes. Like, He is completely fearless. It's mind-blowing. And like the coolest kid to follow on Instagram. If you have kids especially that are interested in wildlife, that's where you want to go.
He is amazing. I mean, I probably found him on your stories and I met him, and then I was like, this kid is the coolest kid I've ever met in my life. Like, and I have 3 of them. Like, this kid is unbelievable. So I did want to give a shout out to Nature Boy Adrian. I didn't write it down, but I did remember. So
nice.
Kudos to me on that. Yeah, that's what I got. Do you have anything you want to add? Again, this is 2 days before Halloween. This is coming
2 days.
out. So.
I hope everyone has a happy and safe Halloween. Get crazy with the makeup. You're not too old for it. I feel like once you hit adulthood, people are like, oh, I'm just gonna like get my kids ready for Halloween. No, you deserve that fake blood too.
There's an Orlando City soccer game, and as you know, I've gotten into this now.
Yep.
The last home game is on Halloween, and Alan and Zach down the street asked if I wanted to go, and I'm like, man, my kids they'll be 11 and 13 at the time. It's like they're almost at the end. I got to go trick or treating with them. I can't go. So yeah.
I like look for people's kids to go trick or treating with. I'm like, does anyone have a kid they can lend me so I can go trick or treating with them?
I want to go dress up and get candy. Like,
yeah, a couple
amazing.
years ago, I dressed up as the Grinch and went trick or treating, like full on Grinch makeup. People
with Adrian and Jed.
Yes,
okay.
yes,
Gotcha.
with Adrian and Jed.
But I picture you like walking down the street with a bag.
No. But yeah, I mean, happy Halloween. I hope you guys took anything from this. If you have any questions for me specifically about creating anything, I'm happy to answer them. I read all of my DMs, even though it's a lot of them, at Sarah_Luhu on Instagram.
So this is usually the point where I say, hey, Andy, do you have any questions? But we didn't set them up with a mic. So,
I can still hear you, Andy, if you
so
want to yell.
you can yell it. I'll ask it, and then.
I honestly didn't think of anything because I'm on the spot now.
It's funny. We didn't used to do that. It would just be me and the guest. And we were in Salt. Have you been there yet? Over on the beach. And I was interviewing Susan Adams, who owns Marsh Landing County Commissioner. And we get kind of to the end, and it's like done. And Andy's like, "Well, what about it?" And we went for another half an hour. I'm like, "Bro, why are you not in this seat?
Right?
Why am I not? Well, I'm not over there because I'm not hiding that works. But well, why is he not here?" So we started sticking a mic on him, and it's been great.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but this place is weird. We couldn't put a third mic up.
I know.
So anyway.
He's like, yeah, I'm just chilling with my nachos anyways.
Did you get nachos, bro? Trio?
I wish.
When we hit stop, we got some.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got.
Awesome.
All right. Well, happy Halloween, everybody. Thank you, Sarah Luhu.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Taco Dive. Make sure you come down and get your taco. Boho got a little shout out. And follow my boy, Nature Boy Adrian.
Yes.
On Instagram. All right. That's it. Thank you again.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.